Hello, I'm Sneha Koshi. Now, in a fresh instance of violence, Manipur's only woman minister's official residence in Imphal was set on fire. And the Manipur industry minister is whom we are referring to. This is Nemcha Kipgen in Imphal's West district is where this incident really happened. Officials said the minister was not at her home when the incident happened. Ratnadeep Chaudhary joins us with more on this.
That's right, but this is not the first attack on the house of a minister. In fact, in past, BJP MLA's houses have been ransacked. Congress MLA's house have been shot. But this is, a serious attack given the fact that it's in a highly secure area. But what is important to note here is that perhaps it's time for, particularly the Ministry of Home Affairs, look at the strategies that it has put in place in terms of bringing groups, and communities to talking table and trying to secure the areas, given the fact that it's still presence of, Central Armed Forces and Army. Yet, as of now, by the look of things, because even after the visit of Union Home Minister Amit Shah, there have been several incidents of violence, arson, firing on from both sides. People have been killed. So the security forces have not been able to create even a buffer zone to keep the two communities away from attacking each other. So that is something that perhaps it's time for the Ministry of Home Affairs to look at it in terms of the strategies they have applied at ground zero in terms of trying to bring back normalcy. There have been places where the armed forces and the army have been stopped by unarmed people from entering areas which are vulnerable. But having said that, with such a huge presence of armed forces, if still incidents are happening, if still there is trust deficit, then perhaps this is time for center to look beyond the strategies they have already put in place to bring peace in Manipur.
And the Tamil Nadu government has withdrawn its general consent it had granted to the CBI to investigate cases in the state. What does that mean? It means that now the CBI would have to obtain the state's consent, particularly for every case that they investigate within the state. And this comes as major drama has unfolded in the state. The excise minister has been arrested by the ED and that just a day after the Enforcement Directorate searched the homes and office of the state's excise and power minister. Right, and as we have mentioned, there's been massive drama that has unfolded over the last several hours as the excise and power minister was arrested.
Tamil Nadu's power minister Senthil Balaji broke down as he was wheeled into a government hospital in Chennai after he complained of chest pain early on Wednesday. This after 18 hours of searches at his home and office and interrogation by the Enforcement Directorate. After an angiogram, the medical advice was for a bypass. The court has ordered a fortnight in judicial remand. Chief Minister M.K. Stalin visited Balaji in hospital and called it political vendetta. Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee and Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal said the action by the ED was politically motivated.
18 hours the Honorable Minister was kept in custody without giving him water, and he has been put into a lot of mental depression. We are fighting it legally. The matter is sub judice.
BJP State Chief Annamalai tweeted out this 2016 video of M.K. Stalin calling Senthil Balaji corrupt. Balaji is accused of taking bribes, promising jobs when he was Transport Minister in Jayalalitha's AIADMK government between 2011 and 2015. Balaji switched to the DMK in 2018 when the cases were booked against him. After Senthil Balaji joined M.K. Stalin's cabinet, he struck a compromise with victim complainants and the Madras High Court stayed all proceedings as he tried to get the FIRs quashed. But last month the Supreme Court said in 2 months the police ought to investigate the corruption charges and the Enforcement Directorate could investigate money laundering allegations.
This is a classic case. It has gone right up to Supreme Court. There is a Supreme Court direction to the Tamil Nadu police to file a new charge sheet including Prevention of Corruption Act in about 2 months. 3 weeks back the judgment came. And then ED's action is continuous because the said people have gone to court, they have taken a stay order against the ED. So you have to understand it is not happening now. This is supposed to happen many years before, right, in 2019, 20, 21, 22. Right. But because of continuous stay orders, after vacating all the stay orders, ED is taking action now. So this is party agnostic.
The AIADMK has distanced itself from Senthil Balaji's actions, saying he had acted in his private capacity. The case against Senthil Balaji embarrasses both the ruling DMK and its arch rival the AIADMK. And seeking to derive political capital in this is the BJP that has a negligible presence in the state but hopes to raise its stature at the cost of regional parties. In Chennai with Suresh, Sam Daniel, NDTV.
And Congress's Rahul Gandhi, disqualified from Parliament following his conviction in a defamation case, had another defamation case filed against him in Karnataka. His co-accused are Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and his deputy D.K. Shivkumar, who have been summoned by the Chief Metropolitan Magistrate. The complaint filed by State BJP State Secretary on May 9 centers around the 40% corruption allegations in the run-up to the recently concluded assembly elections that Congress raised against the then BJP government. The complaint said that Congress advertisement printed on newspapers claimed the then BJP government indulged in 40% corruption. And 50,000 people from the coastal area of Gujarat have been shifted to temporary shelters ahead of the landfall of the powerful cyclone Biparjoy near Jakau port in Kutch district. That's expected to make a landfall by Thursday evening. A red alert has been issued for the area. Gujarat Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel held a high-level meeting on the preparations ahead of the cyclone as dozens of teams are on standby.
Churning the Arabian Sea, cyclone Biparjoy is making its way to the state of Gujarat. It's going to make a landfall in the Kutch region near Jakua port tomorrow between 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. As per the IMD, it has weakened since yesterday, but still the intensity falls in the category of very severe category of cyclone, and it is going to have a wind speed of about 150 km per hour, and that kind of a wind speed is going to swamp the region with a storm, and in all likelihood the IMD is saying that many trees could be uprooted, and it's also going to impact the critical infrastructure, which is the health, the power line, the telecommunication, and of course the ports, which is going to also have a larger impact on the international and national business. This is the region where all the national ports are, be it the Mundra port, the Kandla port or the Jakua port, where the landfall is going to be, and the operations are shut in these ports since the last 4 to 5 days, and it's going to be shut since till the weekend. So it's going to have a larger impact. We are going to take you to the nerve center tomorrow, where we are going to speak to the people and get you more details as to how this cyclone is lethal. This cyclone, is much more dangerous than the cyclones which India has witnessed in the recent history. But right now we are in Kutch, Mandvi, where as you can see the wind speed is picking up, and tomorrow between 4 to 8 p.m. it's going to, when the cyclone makes a landfall near the Jakua port, the wind speed is going to rise. It's going to be at 150 km per hour. The state is on high alert. Chief Minister and all the ministers have been taking high-level meetings. They have been checking, assessing the preparedness at hotels, and all the NDRF teams. There are about 13 SDRF and NDRF teams which have been stationed in the state of Gujarat, and especially in the Kutch district, where the impact is going to be the worst. Now we are also learning that the Navy has stationed ships, and it's also ready at a moment's notice to be deployed for humanitarian aid after the cyclone cyclone passes. Also, just a short while back, an update came that Nirmala Sitharaman has also asked the banks to be ready with the post, once the cyclone passes, any kind of loss which has been incurred by the fishermen or by the farmers living along the coastal lines has to be expedited. So both the central government and the state government is on high alert. All kind of preparedness has been ensured. SDRF, NDRF teams have been deployed. All the people along the coastal lines have been evacuated. More than 45,000 people in the 7 districts which are going to be impacted have been evacuated and taken to sheltered homes. Only in Kutch region, more than 4,000 people have been evacuated. The state government has made sure that these shelter homes have all kinds of facilities provided. So we will be taking you to these sheltered homes, speaking to people as to how this cyclone is going to impact their livelihood, and especially the fishermen who are extremely worried as to what their ships, if their ships can take this kind of a heavy wind and this kind of a heavy cyclone. But as of now, the update is that it's making, the cyclone Biparjoy is making its way towards the Kutch region, and it's going to make a landfall near Jakua port at about 4 to 8 p.m. We will be on the ground and we'll be getting you all the updates. But from to all the audience watching our channel, we would like you to be very, very cautious, and especially people living in the state of Gujarat and in the Kutch region. Please stay inside, stay alert, as this cyclone is said to be, as per IMD, a very dangerous and a very severe cyclone. With camera person Govind in Kutch in Gujarat, I'm Tanushri Pandey for NDTV.
And heavy rain in Assam has been reported in at least 2 districts. Flash floods have been reported in Lakhimpur. At least 20,000 people have been affected in these 2 districts. Even as top central leaders of the Congress party keep attacking the Adani Group, party's newly formed government in Karnataka has rolled out a red carpet for the Adani Group. Karnataka's Industries Minister M.B. Patil on Wednesday said that the state government is not averse to investments from the Adani Group. The minister added that let the Adani Group come up with an investment proposal. The red carpet to the Adani Group from yet another Congress government after Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh has seen a lot of attack from the BJP, who have accused the Congress of hypocrisy. I'm also being joined by my colleague Veera Raghav right now. Veera Raghav, the BJP has been attacking the Congress over what they claim to be is hypocrisy.
That's right, Sneha. Look, what Mr. Patil has said is perhaps the harsh realities of investment decisions across every opposition states. You know that this particular conglomerate, the Adani Group, has investments and partnerships in several of the opposition ruled states. And what the Congress government in Karnataka has sent across, at least from M.B. Patil's statement, is that any open and transparent investment is welcome. This is the harsh reality of investments in the infrastructure sector, where you need groups like the Adanis to work on it. So in many ways, remember, there are also elements within the Congress as well who had questioned the electoral futility or perhaps the electoral dividends that one could get out of raising issues of this nature. So it is something for the Congress to perhaps look into closely.
And it's time for a short break. Welcome back. And the Markets Regulator, Securities and Exchange Board of India has alleged that the Zee founder Subhash Chandra and his son Puneet Goenka have been involved in multiple frauds. The market regulator has accused Subhash Chandra of siphoning 200 crore rupees. My colleague Sakshi Bajaj has more.
A web of siphoning of funds, or simply put, a web of fund fraud? Well, SEBI explains just that. So while we know SL Group Chairman Subhash Chandra and Zee Entertainment Enterprises CEO Puneet Goenka have been barred from holding the position of a director or a key managerial position on the company board, what led to this and what's been the trail of funds? This web really is your answer to that. Now, first up, of course, what have been SEBI's key findings? As per SEBI, the key findings of the regulator, Subhash Chandra provided a letter of comfort in September 2018 towards credit facilities. Now, for all of those wondering, what does this mean? Simply put, a letter of comfort is a document assuring the financial soundness or backing of a company. It is based on this letter of comfort that Yes Bank adjusted a fixed deposit of rupees 200 crores of Zee Entertainment Enterprises for meeting obligations of 7 entities. Now, it is important to note here that these 7 entities were either owned or controlled by family members of Subhash Chandra and Puneet Goenka. As per SEBI's interim order, both Subhash Chandra and Puneet Goenka violated regulations by signing comfort letters on behalf of Zee Entertainment Enterprises without consulting or informing the Zee Entertainment Enterprises board. So let's decode the fund trail that SEBI has released. As we can see in this web of funds really originating from Zee Entertainment Enterprises Limited or other listed companies of the SL group right there, these funds move through multiple layers really of entities. As you can see, web of fund fraud within web of fund fraud, and so therefore you can see this trail in multiple layers right here. Now, of course, this, as per the SEBI release, these entities were either owned or controlled by family members of Subhash Chandra or Puneet Goenka. It is also interesting to note here that this flow of funds that you see indicates no actual net receipt of funds by Zee Entertainment Enterprises and only shows book entries to portray receipt of funds. SEBI has in the interim order stated at least really 143.9 crores was transferred from Zee Entertainment Enterprises and other listed companies of SL Group to falsely portray repayment of due amounts to Zee Entertainment Enterprises from associate entities. The regulator has also said that this fund trail is under examination and the possibility of funds siphoned from Zee Entertainment or other listed companies of the SL Group cannot be ruled out. And to those wondering what happens to the Zee and Sony merger then, well, as per legal experts really, it is difficult for the bench to ignore allegations of financial fraud. As far as shareholders are concerned, they may raise questions as well.
And just stick by the rule that the majority has approved and therefore we will not investigate any of this or we will not allow anyone to talk about anything else. I think that would be a very brave decision. I don't think an NCLT bench would be so brave. Sony, if they want to continue with this or not. And they will have a challenge because their shareholders are going to be asking their board what diligence they did. Did they know all of this? If they didn't know all of this, then now that they know it, do they still recommend that the merger continues?
And the European Commission accused Google on Wednesday of abusing its dominance of the online ad market. It said that Google's ad business violated antitrust laws by distorting competition in the advertising technology industry. How? European Union says Google favored its own ad exchange, AdX, in the ad selection auction run. For example, Google informed AdX in advance of the value of the best bid from competitors which it had to beat to win the auction. EU says Google's allegedly intentional conducts aimed at giving AdX a competitive advantage that may have foreclosed rival ad exchanges. At the end, EU has recommended Google to sell part of its ad services to ensure fair competition. And NDTV is the #1 choice for television and online audiences for the 3rd year in a row. These are the findings of the very prestigious Reuters Institute at the Oxford University. The Digital News Report 2023 by the Institute shows NDTV 24/7 was the most watched English channel in India, and NDTV Online was the most popular Indian news website. The report says that NDTV is considered an independent voice in a polarized Indian TV news space. When it comes to trust, NDTV was the most trusted private English news channel in India among those considered for the survey. According to the findings of the Reuters Institute at Oxford University, DD India tops the combined list of private and non-private media brands considered for the survey. Thank you for trusting us and relying on us for the fastest and most credible coverage.